A furious voice shattered the court. "Throw him out!" The man fell to the marble floor. "My king, my village is dying!" he shouted. Guards grabbed his arms. "People are walking miles for water. Children are fainting. Crops are dying. Please dig a well near the dry ground outside the village." The king slammed his staff. "Enough! You villagers always exaggerate." The man struggled to speak. "But my king—" "Silence!" The king pointed to the gate. "If your village wants water, pray to the gods." The court laughed. The guards dragged the man outside. But as he stood in the dust, something changed in his eyes, because that moment, a dangerous idea was born. His name was Divana, a simple farmer from Viragiri village in the kingdom of Suryagar, and he loved his village more than his own life. He walked through the dry fields, cracked earth, empty wells, children carrying pots larger than their arms. Divana clenched his fists. "The king will not help, but water must come." That night, he sat beside the old dried lake. An elderly shepherd passed by. "You are wasting time. No one digs wells unless there is treasure or gold." Divana suddenly looked up. "Treasure?" The old man laughed and walked away, but Divana did not laugh, because in that moment, the plan was born. 2 days later, whispers began spreading in Viragiri. "Did you hear? A buried treasure exists under the old ground. They say ancient kings hid gold there. No one knew until now." The rumor spread like fire. Travelers carried it. Merchants repeated it. Within days, the story reached the palace. A minister rushed inside. "My king!" King Virendra Varma looked annoyed. "What now?" "There is news from Viragiri. Treasure has been discovered beneath the village ground." The king slowly sat upright. "Treasure?" The minister nodded. "People say it belonged to ancient rulers." The king smiled. "If treasure lies in my land, it belongs to the crown." He slammed his hand on the throne. "Send workers, dig the entire ground." But what the king did not know, that ground was exactly where Divana wanted the digging to begin. Hundreds of workers arrived. The king himself rode to the village. Villagers watched nervously. Divana stood quietly among them. The king raised his sword. "Dig!" Shovels hit the earth. Hour after hour, day after day, the ground grew deeper, but no treasure appeared. Ministers began whispering. "My king, perhaps the rumor was false." The king's face darkened. "Dig deeper!" Then suddenly, a worker shouted, "Water!" Everyone froze. Another shout came. "Water! Water!" Mud began bubbling from the earth. Within minutes, a powerful stream burst upward. The crowd gasped. The dry ground had become a natural underground spring. Water rushed into the pit. Children screamed with joy. Villagers dropped to their knees. Divana quietly closed his eyes, because he knew this land always had water below. It just needed someone brave enough to dig deep. The king looked around. No treasure, only water. His eyes narrowed. Who started this rumor? Silence. Villagers looked at each other nervously. Then Divana stepped forward. "It was me." Gasps filled the crowd. The king's face turned red. "You deceived the crown!" Divana did not kneel. He spoke calmly. "My king, when I begged for water, you refused. You said, 'Pray to the gods.' So I prayed and used the only language power listens to." The king frowned. "Which language?" Divana replied quietly. "Greed. If I asked for water, no one would dig. But if I said treasure, everyone would." The king stared at the well filling with water. Children laughing, women filling pots, crops finally saved. Then the king slowly laughed. "You tricked a king." Divana bowed. "I saved a village." The king raised his hand. Soldiers stepped forward. Villagers panicked. But then the king said something unexpected. "Build a stone well here, and canals from this water to the fields." Everyone stared. The king looked at Divana. "You lied, but you saved lives." He smiled slightly. "Next time, speak the truth." Divana replied calmly. "My king, I did. You just heard it late." The king could not stop smiling, because sometimes the greatest loyalty comes from those brave enough to challenge power. The king had the power to punish him, but he chose wisdom. Divana broke the rules, but he saved thousands of lives. So tell me, was Divana a liar or a hero? Comment your answer below. Subscribe to Clarity Mantra for more such stories.